What is up, YouTube fam? It's your favorite unapologetic lesbian.
I still have no name.
Nope. And wifey, back with another one. This time, we have Upchurch, the 1 year recap of the KR case. That was a chaotic case. That was a chaotic time. Very sad situation. Very heartbreaking situation. You ready for this?
Yep.
Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ryan Upchurch, if you don't know me. I'm a musician for a living. Been a musician for about 15 years, about 9 years professionally. Also, obviously, been a YouTuber for a while. Have a lot of different hobbies, which you can see on my social media pages. I like making UTV vlogs. I like painting. I like drawing. Building stuff out of clay. You name it. I got 1,000 hobbies.
Facts. Still waiting on that magnet fishing GoPro vlog. I was very interested in that.
Yeah.
I didn't forget about it. Because I was interested. I was like, ooh.
I want to do that at the lakes around here.
I do too. Oh, good God. The shit we would
yeah,
find.
exactly. It's also terrifying.
Yeah, I want to go magnet fishing. We need to look into that.
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
But last year I come up on a new hobby, and that was watching this true crime shit that's on YouTube. And around that same time was when this missing person, Kiely Rodni, started popping up all over the internet. I never even knew about this section that was called true crime. I never knew of these true crime YouTubers. And at the time I was like, well shit, I got 3 million subscribers. I can try to help find somebody. I have a lot of people all over the world that, got eyeballs that can look around. So I start clicking and watching these videos that people were talking about this Kiely Rodni girl and, where she was missing from and, all the logistics. And I started noticing there was some weird shit about some of these, in particular, true crime YouTubers. Now, before we go any further or get into this, let me give you some context by showing you a news clip from CBS Sacramento that's talking about this exact situation.
It's been 1 year since Kiely Rodni disappeared from a party at the Prosser family campground. The disappearance of the Truckee teen got the attention of people all across the country as thousands of tips poured into Placer County's tip line. Kiely was last seen at a high school party at that campground.
By the way, she didn't go to high school, apparently. She was homeschooled.
At the time, Placer County officials said her Honda CR-V was missing and her cell phone was out of service.
By the way, there is absolutely no evidence that proves they found a cell phone. But apparently she was texting all of her friends that were also at this party.
Initially, the case was considered suspicious, even being investigated as a possible abduction.
If you're a teenager going to a party where there's drinking and hanging out and people have curfews, the first thing you're going to think is, okay, they're out with a boy or they're spending the night at a friend's house or they ain't trying to get in trouble and they're high. Why they said abduction off the rip, I have no idea.
Let me just say that's facts. The year after I graduated, the year I graduated, the summer that I graduated, my bad, there was a girl. She's about to know exactly what I'm talking about because it made local news. There was a girl that was partying with friends. She was an upcoming senior. They were having a back to school party and things went south. She is no longer with us. And the story later came out that there was people driving her around and refused to take her to the hospital because she was too drunk and too high. And they didn't want to get in trouble. So, and there was plenty of nights in high school, I remember, going and partying with friends, and I was too messed up or too high to come home, to get home driving. So I would end up staying with my friends where I was drinking. What?
So growing up, everyone that I did, the basic teenage shit with, I'm soft-spoken, leave me alone.
Till you're mad.
Very true. But we all lived too far, or they all lived out, like, too far into the woods for us to be walking any damn where. We would get tired by the time we got to the main road.
It was like a
would-
wrong turn type
Yeah,
situation.
like, we would just be like,
shit.
nah, we're going
That
back.
sounds like fun, though. Get drunker and shit and hiring a kite and go into the woods trying to find your way home and it be a wrong turn.
Now, there'll be many a nights that my brother will get drunk going to his friend's house, and I'd have to sneak out of the house and go get him.
Yeah, see, I didn't have that. My brother was younger than me. And the crowd I ran with wasn't the same crowd my brother ran with, for obvious reasons. He's 3 years younger than me.
I was pulled into my brother's crowd. I
You
didn't have a
was.
choice.
You was.
Unless somebody called and was like, hey, I think I just seen an abduction.
But 2 weeks later, and nearly 20,000 man-hours of searching in, Kiely's car was found in Prosser Lake. It was found by Adventures with Purpose, a YouTube-famous dive team. They said it was about 14 feet down, close to where Kiely was last seen.
Then I hear that, and I'm just like, I don't get it. 20,000 man-hours in looking where this person went missing, and you can't find her around a 23,903 foot perimeter around a reservoir, especially when the town law enforcement is getting on TV holding a press conference telling you they had divers and sonars and they dragged the lake and all this shit, and then some YouTubers show up and find it in 14 minutes? Come on, son.
And then in October, the coroner's office ruled Kiely's death accidental.
Ruled as accidental, but she was found in the water in the very, very back of a CRV with some of the windows down. Come on, son.
The Nevada County Sheriff's Office said the 16-year-old died from drowning.
But here's the thing. If you look up the autopsy report, it doesn't show any water in the lungs. How did she drown if there's no water in there?
Officials said there was no indication of foul play.
Alright, now that you're up to speed on what I'm talking about, and you just heard from CBS News, allegedly, what happened? And I know you can hear that it really doesn't make any sense. Alright, so let's briefly recap that simple situation that apparently has happened. You have a girl that went to a party in a CRV. There's no pictures of this girl hardly on the internet. There's definitely absolutely no fucking videos. There's one video that is allegedly supposed to be her. It's a little girl like playing a violin or something like 15 years ago, very shitty quality. So she's 16, 17 when she went missing. This video is from her being like 4 or 5 years old. So I don't know if it's her or not, and no one does.
In today's time, see, that doesn't make sense. It don't. Especially with teenagers. Every teenager has a phone. Every teenager, and when I say every, I know there's some situations where families can't afford for their children to have phones.
Or doesn't want their child to have phones.
Yes.
We are one of them.
Like, yes, we don't want our children having phones. At least not right now. But, point being, I mean, people joke about it. Teenagers on TikTok. But there's no photos. There's no videos. And to be honest, when we were graduating, we are the test run for the damn internet.
You know the only way... Well, no, I can't even say that. Rewind.
We're the test run for the internet. First 10 years of my life, I was outside playing. There was a house phone. Cordless or non-cordless, there was a house phone.
Mm-hmm.
You had dial-up internet. The 2000s hit, and all of a sudden, what you're seeing is what happened.
Yeah.
Our high school years, we had phones. They were flip phones. You was the shit if you had a flip phone with a camera on it.
Yeah.
Then became the Sidekicks and the Razors that had cameras. You were always taking selfies. Always. We were the selfie generation. Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me. There's hardly no evidence. But look at the time that we live in. with teenagers. There's always a phone stuck in a teenager's hand. Like, and of all the people that were at this party, not one person had a phone. Not one person had a phone out. Now, granted, I will say with that makes my soul happy because, hello, the obvious. The phone is not in the hand. They're not sitting here like this. They're partying. They're hanging out. You know what I'm saying? But even still, there wasn't more than what we have. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
There's no pictures of her beside a CRV. There's no videos of her and her friends. There's no pictures or videos of her at this party. There's no evidence of a phone. And 20,000 man-hours couldn't find her directly beside where she went missing, and some YouTubers pull up and they're like, look guys, found her really fast. I don't care who you are. If you have common sense and know anything about anything, you know that sounds like bullshit. It just...
The fly, though.
I was getting ready to say you can't bullshit a bullshitter. You can't. You really can't.
I really am here for the Ellie and Peyton right here.
This one over here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm here for that one up there, too, but I like the alien. It's cute. It makes me want to go home.
Okay.
The question is why?
Viewer question number 1. Why do you think there is no evidence of this party of 300 kids? I told you, there was like over 100 kids at this party. Well over. It wasn't no group of like 50, 60, like what we're used to. No. There was hundreds of kids there. 300. Don't know the exact number, but it's roughly 300 kids.
So anyway, I get on YouTube after I just come across this section of YouTube. It's all about true crime, whatever true crime is. I'm still not sure what that means. And I run across this guy named Icked Mel. He's a true crime YouTuber. Well, he's interviewing this guy named Ronnie on the phone, who's explaining the party. And it sounds like, at first, it sounds like he was there. And then he's like, no, it was my cousins were there. They seen the party. They seen that girl. They said she was super fucking intoxicated and just wasn't even there. And there was some adults there and yada, 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 yada. I'm just like, what the hell?
Here is that interview.
And there was a bunch of kids there. Like, there was a bunch of kids from school there, but, like, it was mixed with older adults who had the drugs. And my cousins were one of the older group that had the stuff. And my cousins are 25 and 26 years old.
So then as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, this Ronnie guy who was calling this true crime YouTuber Ickmail is being like, hey, yeah, my cousins were there. They're adults. They brought drugs there to the party of a fuck ton of kids. Bruh. So I'm like, well, that was fucking weird. This random guy just called and was like, yeah, I fucking seen the whole thing. So I start scrolling and I'm like, okay, well, I see this little thing where her alleged friends, really, really close friends, threw this thing for her at the place she went missing. And her friends that were at the party are talking about the party to the news. This is what the alleged best friend of Kiely says.
I told her, like, I'm leaving. I already have another ride because I didn't want to drive home with her. And so I had told her that, but she still ended up calling me at 12:36 asking if I needed a ride, and she sounded just really drunk, I guess. It grew to be way, way larger than ever expected. There was a lot of guys that did approach us.
Okay, so do you hear that? So you mean to tell me this missing teen, Kiely Rodni, her best friend, Sammy Smith, the girl you just seen, and the random caller on the Ickmail dude's channel who does the true crime shit, they both have the same story. Keep in mind, this is before she was found. And at this time, I didn't really think anything about the Ickmail dude. I was just like, yo, that guy that called you, that was kind of weird how he knew all this shit. The same shit that the Sammy girl knew. How's that possible? He's a grown-ass man. That's a little girl. What the fuck's up with this? So one day, I called it out. I was like, yo, what's up with the Ronnie guy, bruh? Next thing I know, the Ickmail dude is mad at me. The Ronnie dude is mad at me. And they're both on that true crime channel that Ickmel owns, doing this very weird interview.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
There's noises going on in our house.
It might have been Raleigh in there with the girls.
Well, alrighty then.
Interview where dude pixelated the entire background so you couldn't see anything. And they're on there and they're like, what's wrong with that Upchurch guy? Is he on drugs? I mean, is he an idiot? Is he stupid? He must be. And I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
A chance to get heat off of me. So I put his name in the bio.
And it worked.
Because Ryan was already fishy of him, and his, I'm not going to say it because he's going to get pissed because if I start talking shit to him, he went ahead and was like, oh, look, it's a conspiracy. I was like, bro, you really are dumb. Like, you really are dumb, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry.
There's nothing wrong with him.
And when I seen this clip, I noticed he said, hey, this is a chance to get heat off me.
It's a chance to get heat off of me.
And I was like, And when this is going on, this is when the Ickmel guy started trying to paint the narrative. You know, he started calling me Alex Jones and saying, something's wrong with him. Oh, man, what's wrong with him?
There's nothing wrong with him.
So, at that point, I'm like, something is wrong with me because I asked a legitimate question about the guy that called your true crime YouTube, being like, hey, bro, I seen everything. I'm not accepting that, no. About this same time, another random true crime YouTuber named Zanime pops up out of nowhere. And listen, when I say pops up out of nowhere, I mean she didn't really have a YouTube channel at all. She had like 2 videos about Ukraine and weapons.
There were some munitions were spotted or deployed in Ukraine. Airdrop or ground-launched explosive weapon that releases or ejects smaller submunitions. Commonly, this is a cluster bomb that ejects explosive bombs that are designed to kill personnel and destroy vehicles. Other cluster munitions are designed to destroy runaways or electric power transmission lines, disperse chemical or biological weapons.
I'm sitting there thinking to myself, looking at this lady's page, and I'm like, how do you go from Ukraine and weapons to true crime within like 3 videos? Keep in mind, the Kiely Rodni girl's car is not found at this point. Everyone's still looking for it. So I see her on some true crime panels and stuff, talking about the Kiely Rodni girl. So I click on her page. When I click on it, what do I see? This lady is in Prosser Reservoir, where the little girl went missing, where the car is still at this time. And she is paddling and swimming and looking around the whole campground where the little girl went missing.
That's a steep hill. Okay. And we're here.
1, what are you doing there? 2, did you hear her go, we're here?
We're here.
And the little tag in the corner that said campground. What, you weren't there when you pulled up? But you had to pull up, put your canoe in, and paddle all the way over there to somewhere where you could drive to if you wanted to. And then you're like, yep, we're here, as you pull out your phone and show that that's exactly where the car went in the water. So then I comment on one of her videos and I'm like, hey, kind of weird that you're there. What are you doing over there? And she's like, fuck you, I hate you. What's wrong with you? Everyone's worried about you. All your fans are worried about you. Are you on drugs? And I'm like,
As 2 of his fans, have you been worried about him any at all in the past year? Any at all in the past year have you felt like he is on drugs? Neither have I. He has gave his opinion this entire time. If you haven't agreed with it or hated it, that's your right. You can disagree with the shit we say. It's your right.
why are you saying?
He's not on drugs. And these 2 fans aren't worried about him. waiting on the country album to flip and drop. But not worried about him. To be honest, stay-at-home mom and wife.
Me.
Technically right now she's a, what is it called? Den mother.
Well, no, because I haven't been approved or anything
Well,
like
I'm
that
saying
yet.
technically because y'all have talked about it, and it sounds like to me like you've got that in the bag. So
I don't know.
there's a PCA.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
When we wake up in the morning, we're not worried with him. When he drops something, we watch it, we listen to it. But even during that time, we're not worried with him. To be honest, sitting right now, our kids are in their rooms watching TV. Okay? Watching this, I am not worried about him. I'm worried about what our kids are doing. And if we're going to have 2 bedrooms by the time this video is done. So, yeah.
And the same thing that Ickmel and Ronnie said, bro. So she keeps telling me over and over, she's like, your community is worried about you. Finally, I was just like, shut up. Now,
Your community
Shut
took
up,
a little
lady.
bit
Play the
further.
video.
Okay, let's play the video. Let's get the video up.
Where's the mouse? Creeper. Sorry.
Bit
Play the
further.
video.
Okay, let's play the video. Let's get the video up.
So then, here's where she starts her discrediting process. She's like, oh, well, he said this and this. And I'm like, I didn't say any of those things. Prove it. And she couldn't.
I got no problems with calling Ryan Upchurch out on it, but he's saying he didn't say it. You can't accuse somebody of saying something they didn't say.
You want proof?
Well,
Hold on.
Why are you so scared? You want proof? Hold on. Why are you so defensive?
All right, what do you
Because I'm
have?
pressing your ass. Ronnie,
Okay.
Ronnie seen somebody at the fucking party. You seen the party. The little girl went missing around the fucking party. Are you all stupid as fuck or something? Do y'all not understand?
Still to this day, she has not shown where he has said anything she claims he has said, by the way.
Even the people in chat know. All right, so now let's put the timeline together. Do you realize now that means? So now you got this Ronnie guy who's calling into Ickmel's true crime show. He's like, my cousins were there and seen everything. You got Sammy, who is the little girl's best friend, who was like, I was there and then left. But I'm the last person Kylie talked to. Now you got this anime chick who's like, yeah, I seen the party and was there. And the next day, canoeing there. They're all in some way, shape, or form at this party this little girl went missing at that apparently nobody seen. And not to mention, they all take up for each other when they apparently don't know each other at all.
And I appreciate that lady. I think her name's like Zanime or something.
Zanime.
She was defending me.
So I'm like, bruh, all these people are capping. Why are they all have the same story? Why are they all lying? And why just so happens the weekend this little girl went missing, everybody's eyeballs is broke. So I'm like, okay, you got 300 kids at this party, ain't nobody said shit. Just 4 dumbass adults on here being like, I seen the kid party. So I'm like, dude, I got a good way to tell if this is bullshit or not. If a kid knows something about something that he didn't do, if a kid seen anything happen at this party, I'm gonna offer him $100,000 in a Hellcat. Then we'll see who really was at the party.
Let me just say, we have 4 children, and fucking facts. Fucking facts. Children will rat each other out over money so they can go buy a new toy. And with it being teenagers, that much money, they could go definitely buy a new, vehicle toy, a Tonka toy.
I just don't even want toys when they do shit like that.
But it's still the point, though, is children.
They want trolleys.
Regardless, they want it for something that they can go,
you're right.
they can go buy. And that's a lot of money. And no one still came out with any information.
What kid's gonna say no to $100,000 in a fucking the rapper car? So I put the offer out there. This is what happened.
Then this next part I would like your opinion on in the comments. We're not going to go comment. We'll give our opinion right here.
So, right before she was found, you know, where everybody's like, oh my God, where's she at? This, that, and the other. And, you know, everybody who's kind of sleuthing and talking about it on the true crime, they're all going at each other's throats and being like, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. What are you doing to help? And I see everybody, like, arguing with each other. So I figured, okay, she went missing at a party full of teenagers. Someone's got to know something. So I offered $100,000 and my $100,000 Hellcat to whoever had tips leading directly to her, or to anyone who just flat out found her. So you got this little girl missing. No one can find her. No teenager knows where she went. Nothing. And then all of a sudden, I put out a reward that is bigger than any reward that's out for her. Why? Because my heart's like this big around. In my head, I'm thinking, well, shit.
Even through all the BS that this man has been through, that is one thing that since 2016, I can say has stayed the same. That man's heart is as huge as this world is. No cap, no bullshit. As much as this man has been through, guarantee he'll be willing to do the same thing for another case. His heart throughout this entire case was in the right place. He just wanted, initially, for that little girl to be found safe. And then, once the unfortunate, he just wanted answers like everyone else did.
I'm lucky enough to have a job I like. I'm rich. I could spare $200,000 to see if anybody can find her. She's found in the next few days by Adventures with Purpose. When I seen the news that she was found, I was like, damn, alright. Well, I got cold chills even thinking about it. I was like, well, I'm going to hold up my end of the deal. I'm a man of my word. So, I had my accountant at the time send $100,000 to Jerry Lasik. And I gave Doug the Hellcat. And had the Hellcat delivered by my security guard, drove it all the way to his house. Dropped it off. Flew back home.
What's your opinion on AWP finding Kiely's car so fast?
So after she's found, then what happens? Jared Lasik all over the internet. Everybody's like, oh, he's a weirdo. He did some weird sexual shit. And I'm like, what? I see it on the internet. I haven't looked into it, but I see it. And at first I was like, hell, who knows? It could be just somebody who doesn't like him. Until I seen all of AWP get online and quit AWP. So right before everybody in AWP got on the internet and was like, hey, we quit AWP, somebody came to my house. I'm not going to say who. And he was like, it's somebody very close to the whole finding of this car and whatnot. They come to me and they were like, I'm scared. I was like, why? And he was like, this involves like higher up people. I was like, who? He gave me a few names. And I was like, and even I was kind of like, this motherfucker's crazy. And then about a week after, everybody quit AWP. It's not a thing. Now, the family that I put up $200,000 to find their daughter is like, hey, we're suing you for defamation of character. Defamation of character? Huh? So there you go. I don't know what the fuck that means. I know it's fucking creepy and weird. And, it's like, what do you think after that? A normal person is like, wait a minute. Was this all bullshit? Was this like entertainment? Was this like some kind of fucked up entertainment? Or, some kind of criminal operation? What the fuck was this? I have a theory on what all this was, with pretty valid points behind it. But I had to make this video so everyone understands what this is, so everyone understands the timeline, so everybody is just on the same page. Because, see, that's the thing, they purposely make it perplexed enough and complicated to where it sounds confusing. But that's how you would get away with, a crime. If you want to hear my theory, let me know in the comments.
We want to hear your theory.
Video will be next. And, it's a mind fuck, to say the least.
Okay. Yes, we want to know your theory. Most definitely. And, again, been a fan since 2016, and when he dabbled into that, I was right there watching. I agreed with things he said. I disagreed with things he said. But the one bigger picture, he was trying to help find that little girl. That's all he was doing. Because he was also doing it for Summer Wells as well. See, that's something a lot of people want to forget about right now. Right before he was doing the KR case, he was covering Summer Wells too. And Summer Wells hit closer to home for him because Summer Wells was from Tennessee. Pretty sure she was from Tennessee.
I really don't know.
But point being, he was trying to help find missing children because of the bigger problem out in the world today. I'm not saying what it is. You all know what it is. But he was trying to be a good person and help find this little girl. And my personal opinion, there are people involved that were put in place to distract people. I believe, and this is just my opinion on it. Just my opinion. This was a money grab for everyone involved. Everyone. Because, I mean, you can go and look at public, it's public record, public information that lodge owned by that family was not doing good, either right before or right after she went missing. Then there was a GoFundMe put up. Like, everything about that case, it seemed to be this was involved. Money was involved. And, as parents, if one of our children went missing and there was a YouTuber who went out of his way with as many followers as he has, goes out of his way, regardless if we disagree with what he has to say or not, if he is going out of his way to bring attention to...
Our kids are destroying the house. If you hear that in the background, I do apologize.
Bye.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Dang it. Thanks, kids.
Welcome to our life.
Legit. But basically putting it, I wouldn't, and I'm pretty sure she wouldn't, as a parent, if we seen a YouTuber bringing attention to our missing child's case, whether we agree or disagree with what he is saying, he's still trying to bring light to it. He's still trying to help find our child. And the moment he put up $200,000, only one to do that.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, we would not be sitting here going to sue him. We wouldn't. To be honest, we wouldn't even be thinking about him again. We would be trying to cope and deal with losing our child.
Right.
And not online trying to tell everyone we're dealing with losing our child. There's no amount of money on the face of the planet that is going to bring that little girl back. None. No amount of suing anybody is going to bring that little girl back. All this is doing is setting in motion something that is a slippery slope for everyone involved. Even people watching like us who have opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very slippery slope. I've said it in all the other videos. I sit here and say something that offends her, so she turns around and sues me. The money she just collected from suing me, guess what? She has opened her mouth and said something that offends someone else, or someone else didn't like. That person sues her. Now the money she's got from me, she's going to have to take and give to that person. And there it goes. A domino effect. everybody suing everybody and everybody giving each other everybody's money. And to be honest, nothing is being solved.
Mm-hmm.
Quite the contrary, our First Amendment right is being took. It is perfectly fine not to agree with something someone says. It is perfectly fine. There's a beautiful thing. Agree to disagree. Makes friendships. I know. And it's just, it's ridiculous. And see, I have a question. I understand if she was going out there canoeing and shit, trying to find her or whatever. Why did she not, she's in the military, why did she not contact anybody in her branch and get a search party together and go out there and look? Why did she go out there by herself? Why did she not have somebody else out there helping her try to find this little girl? I mean, there's a lot about that case and a lot of the people that discussed it that does not make sense. The only one that I have saw, and keep in mind, I did disagree with some things that he said, but the bigger picture and the timeline, his opinion and his theory makes more sense to me than anything else I've seen and heard.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, there's a lot of his opinions he said back a year ago that I did not agree with. We both didn't. I said it in my last video. There was one thing he said, and I forgot what it was, but I was sitting there like, boy, you done lost your damn mind. And then just carried on with my life. Like, y'all take shit way too far. YouTube is supposed to be for entertainment. That's what it's meant for. Entertainment. You know, 10, 15 years ago, me and her would sit here with YouTube and purely have it for music. For music. There wasn't shows, there wasn't videos. It was purely to listen to music. You cut it on, you find the song you initially want, and kind of like you do today, you just let it play. That's what YouTube was used for. In the past 10, 15 years, it has evolved. It has changed. It has grew. Now you have people like us, reactors. You have independent artists. You have podcasts. You have all types of things with YouTube. Different communities. Y'all are all doing the same thing for one thing. Entertainment. We make these videos to entertain. Some of them may be serious, but the majority of them is going to be to entertain, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's for your entertainment, to give you something to watch so you're not bored. Why take it this fucking far? Why? Y'all have all this time on y'all's hands, and some of y'all have families, from what I've seen and heard. We have 4 kids. We both jokingly say, no, we technically have 5, but we say we have 5 or 6 kids because we call each other the oldest and biggest child. There are times both of us act like we're children. I do it more when I'm sick. I act like a straight baby when I'm sick. You do too.
Not as bad as you.
I know. Point being, though, we do not have the time in the day, in the week, in the month, in the year to sit and do this shit. These people are making a living of arguing with people online and then getting butthurt over people arguing with them online.
Yeah.
Why y'all let that bother y'all? Why y'all let that bad energy in? If somebody starts coming at you, arguing with you online, turn it off. Yes, it will be there when you cut it back on, but guess what? From the time you cut it off to the time you cut it back on, you've done cleared this up here. Don't let that negative energy affect you. Don't let it ruin your day. You know, on Instagram, most mornings, I will post a picture right after I get up, and I'm like, go make today your bitch. I am meaning you go control your day. Don't let the day control you. And a lot of these people let their day control them. And it's not even their day. They let the internet control them. Like, I don't get it. I don't. I really don't understand it, and I never will. But yes, we would like your theory, please, sir. Well, if you guys like this reaction, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Cause my life is like a movie. My life is like a movie. And everybody watching now. They watching now. So I'm chasing off the jewelry. With the